What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Aalya Secura. And so here we have Aalya Secura posing out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's run through her one and only accessory, which is her lightsaber, which does look really nice, and you can have her hold it on her belt. Other than that, we don't get anything else with Aalya Secura, so with that out of the way, let's have a closer look at the Jedi Knight. And so here we have a closer look at Jedi Knight Aalya Secura, and I really like the way this figure came out. I do have a couple issues with it, but we'll get into that when we have a look at the rest of her body. But as far as the head sculpt goes, beautiful head sculpt. This is a very, very good head sculpt by Hasbro. They did a really good job capturing the look of Aalya Secura. She's very pretty right here, and I do like the overall sculpt and paintwork. You can see the headdress looks really nice on her, and it goes all the way down her little Leku right here. So that's really nice. I like that little detail. And these are a little bit soft. They're not as soft as I would like them to be. You can see they are giving me some resistance, and they do take a while to get back into position. But overall, really do like the way it came out. They did a really good job with this figure. She is very beautiful. So, having a look at the rest of her body now, she doesn't have your traditional Jedi robes per se, but she does have this really unique look to her. Besides her blue skin, she has almost like this midriff shirt with, it looks like scales. That honestly looks like scales and some leather. And then we have her sleeve going all the way down to her wrist right here, which looks really good. On this side, we do have a bare arm, which I am glad Hasbro was able to give us two different arms rather than just painting this arm. I know they don't normally cheap out on Black Series. A lot of the figures have their own unique sculpt, but sometimes with reuse, they would cheap out and just give us a bare brown arm, but really good that they went the extra mile with that. I think it looks really nice, and I like the fact that her shirt is an overlay and not sculpted on. So this does have some give to it. I believe it's glued down somewhere right here and on the back, so just keep that in mind that the shirt is not supposed to be removed. One issue I think I have with this figure is that her waist seems a little bit too broad, and it comes into picture when you have a look at her entire torso. Her shoulders are about the same width as her waist. Now that's normally not the way a female's figure should look. Her waist should be a little bit thinner and her hips should be wider. They got the waist wider, but they narrowed down her hips, and you can see she really doesn't have a full figure. They kind of cut away the hip part right here on her pelvis, and she kind of has like this weird gap that not even the belt can cover up because the belt is pegged on back here. So yeah, it would have been nice if they had slimmed down her waist a little bit and brought her hips out just to cover up this gap, because it's really noticeable that there is some gap right here between her legs and her pelvis. But the slimness, I think it's perfectly fine right there. Her just on the side, she could be just a tiny bit thinner just to bring out the entire shape of her body. That would be really nice. And then on her belt, you can see where her lightsaber would peg in. We have her tassels right here on both sides. That same leather-like design right here going on the back as well. And we do have different colors on here. We have a lighter and a darker color. Then we go on to her pants, which are almost like a maroon or a burgundy color. They're not really brown. I do like that. And she is reusing some legs right here. I want to say these are Grand Admiral Holdo's legs. I could be wrong, but then she also does have these boots. Might be carryover and reuse, but overall it looks good, and I do like the fact that the bottom of her boot has some detail. So overall, Hasbro did a pretty decent job with this figure. I like it for the most part. A few critiques here and there, but overall really like this figure. The blue is very nice. The face is sculpted beautifully. They did a really, really good job here on this Jedi Knight Aalya Secura, so really, really happy with this figure. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get her compared to other figures you may have in your collection. And here we have Aalya Secura posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Aalya Secura posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And finally, here we do have Aalya Secura posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's have a look at her articulation. Now Aalya Secura does have some interesting articulation points. She has a double ball joint here in the head, but unfortunately she doesn't get too much up and down movement, and it's just the way her head is designed. It's not because of her leg crew back here, it's pretty much because her head sits so tight on that ball joint, it doesn't really provide much forward or back movement. We do get some surprisingly good head tilt, so the head pivot is pretty good, and she can turn left and right no problem, and the leg crew do get out of the way if you need them to. She does have a butterfly joint, which is kind of interesting because it doesn't really function all that well. We do get some slight movement, but it's very minuscule. She does go all the way around, out to the side, no problem. We do have an elbow swivel right here, and that does give us a little better than 90 degrees, so I do like that. Her wrists do have vertical hinges as well as a swivel, so she does have weapon wielding hands proper, so that's really good. She has a ball joint here in the waist, so you can see that gives us a lot of good range side to side, back, not so much forward, and it does rotate right here. Nothing at the waist, but as far as his legs go, they do kick all the way forward. They go back, out to the side, no problem. Thigh swivel, double bend here at the knee, so she is utilizing an older mold, so I do like that. We do have a boot rotation here, then we have an ankle joint that goes back and forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, Aalya Secura has some pretty good articulation, and I really do like the way it functions. It could be a little bit better if she had double jointed arms, but I do like the double jointed knees. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get her posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Black Series Aalya Secura pose for my final thoughts, and overall I really like this figure. It turned out much better than I originally thought it would, and I'm really glad I did pick her up. Aalya Secura is one of my favorite background Jedis. She does appear in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, which unfortunately she does meet an untimely end in Revenge of the Sith. But overall, I like the way this figure came out. I think the details on her are perfect, with the exception of her waist maybe being a little bit too wide. I'm pretty sure it's reused from, who was it, the Bounty Hunter? I forgot what her name is, but I'm pretty sure it's reused from that figure, which is why it's a little bit too big for Aalya Secura. She was a really small character, so that's why I'm saying it might be a little bit too big, but it doesn't ruin the figure at all. It still looks really nice, and once you get her posed, you're really not going to notice it. I really do like the way she came out, and I have a lot of good memories playing with her as a character in Star Wars Battlefront, except she had 2 lightsabers there. I kind of wish that they had given her 2 lightsabers, but nothing I can't solve. I'm pretty sure Grievous can function with just 3 lightsabers. Overall, really happy with this figure. Now, I did pick her up from Amazon, and Amazon is charging about $24.99 for all Star Wars figures now. Yes, that is a very tough pill to swallow, unfortunately, guys, and yeah, you do have to pay the $27 after taxes, and if you don't have Amazon Prime, you're paying shipping on top of that. So yes, Hasbro is slowly but surely pricing us out of the market, and yeah, this is one figure I actually did want to have in my collection, so I did pick her up, and I'm really glad she turned out great. I really like the way she poses. She looks really nice. It's a very beautiful figure when you get her pose, and Hasbro did an exceptional job with her. So if you're a fan of this character or just want a Twi'lek in your collection, definitely pick her up. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure videos as well as all my other Black Series reviews. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure videos and pictures. And as always, ring that bell to be notified anytime I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.